Hello and welcome to Creative Sparkle. My name's Holly and today we're doing an art journal prompt list. So grab your art supplies and let's get crafting. Thank you for joining me today. So to begin with, we'll start with prompt number 1, which is to prime or prep your page as needed. Just to let you know, this is prompts that are listed for a double page spread, as you can see on the prompt there. So I'm just starting off with white gesso because I'm working in a recycled book. I'm probably going to put 2 layers of gesso on and then we'll move on to the next prompt. So prompt number 2 is to use a dark colour to cover the background. If you did use a dark colour to prime the background rather than using the white gesso, then you can skip that if you are happy with the colour that you already have. I've chosen to go with purple and I mixed a little bit of white and a little bit of black in there as well. I'll just show you the paints that I was using. And I mixed those together and spread them across the page to create the dark background. So moving on to prompt number 3, we're going to choose a quote or title to fit on one of the pages, so half of the layout. I've chosen to use my scan and cut and I have cut out the words, "The darker the night, the brighter the stars." I've just chosen to do it in white paper so that it can stand out against that background quite well. If you don't want to add it with paper, you can use paint or you can use stencils if you want to do it that way. Just choosing something that you would prefer for your title. And I'm adding the white paper and I'll stick that down with some Mod Podge matte medium. So once that's all stuck down and dried, we'll move on to prompt number 4, which is to give your large quote highlights and or colour. So I wasn't really sure what to do with this at first. I just chose to go along with some marker pens. I chose the yellow to add some highlights just to give it a bit more of a standout oomph. So after adding the highlights on the night, I add the yellow completely to cover the brighter and some more highlights on the stars at the bottom there. And then I'm going to go in with a different marker pen in the colour light blue, and I'm going to do the darker at the top with the light blue and add some of the light blue to the stars at the bottom as well. Obviously not necessarily going to be white when you've done it, so if you have done it in a different colour, that's fine. You can just add little lines here and there, you can outline the words, whatever you feel goes best with your title, and we'll move on to the next prompt once that's finished. So once we've finished adding the highlights in colour, we'll move on to prompt number 5, which is to add a focal image on the other half of your spread to the title. I have this 12 by 12 paper pack, which is the Gorgeous Girls, and I've chosen this paper with the girl holding the balloon, and I'm just going to cut her out as my focal image. If you want to use more than one, that's fine. You can put them on the other side of the page. I just thought this went quite well with the quote that I'd chosen. So I'll cut her out, I'll fussy cut the image, and then I'll get that stuck down again with some Mod Podge. So once you're happy with your focal image or images, we'll move on to prompt number 6, which is to draw or add something growing out of the bottom of the page. So I've chosen to go with the same paper pack again, and because she's holding a balloon, I decided to cut balloons out, and again I use the scan and cut. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. You can cut something out by yourself or even draw something with a light coloured paint pen or whatever you prefer to use. And I'm using Distress ink in the colour Dusty Concord, and I'm just going around the edges just to give it that dark outline so the white doesn't show through, and because the balloon that the girl's holding has some shadows around it as well, so I thought it would just match better. And then I'll get those stuck down again with Mod Podge. So I'll just stick those down randomly and have it look like they're growing out at the bottom of the page. If you want to use plants or something different to have growing out, that's fine. You just use whatever you think goes with your page better or whatever you have available to you. And I'm just adding some highlights to the balloons to show that they're shining in the light as well. So prompt number 7 is to add a border to your layout, and I've chosen to use this product, which is Pearl Drops, and in the colour Pastel Yellow, and I'm just going to add them dots around the corners on the left hand bottom and the right hand top. I didn't want to add a full border because I thought it would take away from the page, so I'm just going to do it in the corners there. If you wanted to add a full border with them, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to do what suits your page best. So prompt number 8 is to use some stickers to decorate the page. Now I've chosen these simple stickers that are in the shapes of stars, and I'm just going to put them around the page because I think that the quote and the page itself just goes with that quite well. So I'm going to add quite a lot of those in different sizes around the page to add the sparkle needed. Whatever stickers you have will fit absolutely lovely on the page, I'm sure. So don't feel like you need the stickers that I have to be able to do a page that's similar. Just use what you have available to you. So prompt number 9 is to add some colour to your layout, and I've chosen this banana yellow paint in acrylic, and I'm just going to water it down and add some splashes. The colour that you're adding doesn't have to be splashes. You could add more of a border, you could do some silhouettes in the background, you could do whatever you want, whatever you feel suits your page the best, because obviously you won't be coming out with the same page I am. So prompt number 10, which is the final prompt, is to use a plastic card to add some paint to finish. So I've chosen a gold paint, and I'm using the card just to have some lines coming from the stars, just so it kind of looks like they're shooting stars just from the stickers there. So I'll just scrape with the card to get some shooting star looking things. And that is the page complete. So thank you for joining me today. If you do decide to take part in the prompt list, please do tag me on Instagram with the hashtag Sparkle Prompts. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment down below. The full prompt list will be at the end of the video. And I will see you next time, where we will turn your creative spark into creative sparkle. Bye!